Hi, my name is Chris Ryan. Welcome to the Forest of Arden, and today we're going to show you 3 different ways that you can use your rescue club on the course to help you lower your scores. So welcome back to the Forest of Arden. You've joined me on the par 5 17th. We're on the tee. And as I already said in this video, we're going to show you how you can use your hybrid in 3 different situations. These golf clubs, these hybrids that many of you will carry in your bag, are incredibly versatile. They have multiple uses. And if you can start to get comfortable using these clubs from a variety of different situations, you're going to find it's going to almost become your favorite club. Many of the golfers that I coach absolutely love their hybrids and they wouldn't be without them. You know, some 10 or 15 years ago, these golf clubs didn't even exist, but they are becoming so popular now. And if you're a golfer who doesn't strike the ball particularly well, or if you have relatively low speed, they make the game much easier. So the 3 shots we're going to go through are going to be how you'd use it from the tee, as we are here, how you'd use it for your approach shots into the green, and then how you might be able to use this club around the green. So what I've done here is I've teed my ball up to hit it as the first shot down this par 5. Now, just from how that camera sees it, that golf ball may not particularly look teed up, and this would be the first point. When we tee the ball up, we want to tee it incredibly low. So I raise the ball off the ground, but it doesn't really affect too much of what I do. If I tee that ball too high, what I ultimately need there is I need almost a golf swing from the tee and a different golf swing when the ball is on the ground. When I tee it low, as I have here, I'm able to use the same golf swing from the tee, from the fairway. It's going to be much easier. I'm going to keep some consistency through this shot. So as I say, that ball is teed up. I want to tee it up because I want that peace of mind that that ball is raised up. I've got a little bit of help. It helps me get the golf club under the ball a little bit, and it helps me strike a little bit towards the top of the club, which is going to give me generally a better ball flight from the tee. If I get that ball slightly high in the golf club, if I get it slightly above centre, with the gearing and the way that the golf clubs work, I will generally get a slightly higher launch angle, but I also get a slightly lower spin rate. That's fantastic when I'm looking to hit this shot from the tee. But, you know, as I say, we don't want to go too high with the tee bag and feel like we've got to make adjustments to our technique. So why would you use a hybrid off a tee? Why wouldn't you use maybe a 3-wood or a driver? Well, you know, certainly now we're right in the middle of summer here in the UK. We've had fantastic weather. We haven't had a lot of rain, and the golf courses are very dry. They're playing very fast and rolling. So your job from the tee is to place the ball in the best place in that fairway. As the ball starts to roll further, sometimes driver isn't always the play, and sometimes a hybrid hit well in these conditions would almost go as far as maybe a 3-wood or a driver when the ground is much softer. So your job really when you approach the walk onto the tee is not necessarily to pull out the driver every time and hit it as far as you can. It's to think strategically, where would you like your golf ball to be? This par 5 doglegs right the way round to the left. So actually a driver here could see me go straight through the fairway. I could take the corner on, and that would be an option. But if I don't feel I've got that shot, then maybe something like a hybrid down towards the corner could well be the right play for me. In these conditions, a little bit downhill, I may well still be able to get to this green in 2. So let's go ahead and hit this. So I've got it teed very low, and I'm going to approach this just like I would with a mid to long iron. So I'm going to play the ball slightly forward in my stance, but only just, and I'm going to still attempt to take a divot after the golf ball. That's absolutely perfect. It's turning a little bit right to left, and that's going to get, if that gets a really good bounce, that's going to be absolutely perfect down this hole. Now, I didn't take a divot after the golf ball, and generally you won't because of the way that the golf club is designed. But my goal was to take a divot. I still wanted my low point to be target side of the ball. I still wanted to feel like I was trapping the ball between the club face and the turf. That's going to give me that negative angle of attack that I want with this club. That gave me a fantastic result. And that swing, which we're going to show you in a moment, you can also use from the fairway. So let's go through this one here, which is from the fairway. Now, when the ball is on the ground, and that's going to be the majority of the shots you hit on the course, obviously not from the tee, but we would like the golf club to be slightly descending as it hits the golf ball. So the contact point with the ground would like to be target side of the golf ball. So in that respect, this hybrid club is actually not that different to a lot of the irons that you play. The way that the hybrids are designed is there's a lot of weight low in the golf club, and there's a fair bit of weight back in the golf club, which makes them flight the ball higher and be more versatile from a variety of different lies. So your job with a hybrid is very simply just to make good contact with the club face, because if you can do that, the club is designed to help you get that ball in the air. Many of you will struggle with long irons because you can't flight the ball well enough, and then you end up leaning back or trying to sort of lift the ball into the air, and that compromises the contact. With these hybrid clubs, your goal really is just to make a golf swing, strike the ground after the ball with a slightly descending blow, and allow the technology in the golf club, you know, this one here from TaylorMade, allow the technology that TaylorMade have put into this golf club to help you generate that flight. So my setup is going to be pretty much as it would be for a fairly long iron. I have got that golf ball forward of my stance, but certainly not up where I would have a driver. So maybe where I'd have the equivalent of a 5-iron or so. Stance width is fairly normal and my grip is fairly normal. But I still want to feel that when I make this golf swing, I'm striking the ground after the golf ball. In order for me to do that, I need weight on my lead leg at impact. And I need to feel like I'm rotating through and extending my arms. So often with the long irons, we don't see that. We see the golfer leaning back to try and add the loft. But as I said, it's trusting that the golf club and the technology in there is going to do the job for you. So let's have a go. Let's see if we can hit this into the 12th green. All over water, so not an easy one. But I'm going to really focus on trying to almost take a divot after the golf ball. Okay, now I won't take a divot because of the way the golf club is designed. It's not going to allow me to take a divot, but the contact is going to be very, very good. Now this situation I've got here, the golf ball is sitting a little bit down in the rough. But this is again where the hybrid is really going to come into its own. Because the weight is low, it's going to mean that when that ball is sitting down in the rough, I can start to, you know, get some good contact from the golf ball. So what would I do different here? Well, the reality is I wouldn't really do a lot different. I've just got to trust the golf club, take the same setup and the same swing, and hope that the design of this golf club, with that weight low, is going to help me get the ball in the air. If I catch this ball a little bit low in the club face, I'm going to get a slightly different flight. I'm going to get a good result. That situation with a long iron, I'd really struggle to hit that shot, or I'd have second thoughts about hitting that shot. But with this hybrid, I can take my same setup, focus very much on the same ideas, and hopefully get a similar result. So the final situation that we're going to cover in this video, and the third way that you will be able to use your rescue club on the golf course, is when you're just off the green as we are here. So just before we go through exactly why, let's just quickly talk through the situation. As you can see, I'm on the apron of the green, so it's pretty tight grass. I've probably got around about 15 feet, maybe just a little bit more until the green, and then I've probably got some 30-35 feet of that green. I'm on a slight upslope. And the green sits a little bit to me as well, so the overall shot is slightly uphill. Now, this is a great option if you're not a confident chipper of the golf ball, and unfortunately plenty of golfers that I see struggle with the short game. If you're not a confident chipper, as we've said, we're a little bit of an upslope, the green is sloping into me. It's quite easy with maybe a 7 or an 8 iron to get the club stuck in the ground, duff that shot, and ultimately take 4 from a situation where we're hoping to take 2. So this rescue club is a great option. And it certainly requires a little bit of practice first. It's not going to be a shot that you do on the golf course tomorrow if you've never practiced it. But let's quickly go through the setup and the technique, and then we'll go cover exactly why it's a good option. So I want to kind of approach this shot a little bit more like a putt than I would a chip. So I would actually go right down to the bottom of the handle to make the golf club a more usable length. And I want to adopt the grip that I would do with my putter. So for me, that's a kind of almost a reverse overlap. And I'm going to stand with my feet very close together, the ball in the middle of my feet with a little bit of weight on the lead side. You'll also notice that I'm standing quite close to the golf ball, so I've got the heel of the golf club raised up. Certainly this golf club in its full playing position would be a little bit closer to here, but I've got the grip raised up. What that's going to do is it's going to mean that I can play this with minimum face rotation. The further I stand away, I'm going to increase the amount that the face rotates, and that's going to make it harder for me to get the ball started on the intended line. So standing a little bit closer, going right down the handle, you'll notice that both of my arms are slightly flexed. I need that because of the length of the golf club. For me to get my arms straight, I'd have to stand much taller. So allowing the arms to be a little bit more flexed. And like I said at the start, this is very similar to how I'd play a putting stroke. From here, my practice strokes are going to be one where I try and just brush the ground where the golf ball is. But the way that this golf club is designed, this rescue club is designed, the sole of the golf club is going to make it very easy how it interacts with the ground. I'm probably not going to get this club digging into the ground. It's quite a risk-free shot in terms of the contact. The golf ball is going to come off the face, a little different to your irons and your putter, so again, it does take a bit of practice, but it's going to not really have much of a flight. It's going to roll very, very quickly, and it's going to be quite easy for me to get this ball on the green. A little bit of practice, it should be quite easy to get this ball quite close to the flag. So let's have a go. There's a little bit of left to right break on this, so I need to sort of factor that in. So a few practice swings looking at my target, and then step in and try and execute. And that's not a bad result. It's just rolled a couple of feet past, but it felt very easy for me to get the contact. And that's really why we would encourage people to try this shot. If you're a fantastically good chipper of the golf ball, it might not be something you look at. But if you're not a great chipper of the golf ball, if you're playing in conditions like we are today, where the course is very hard, fast and running, it can often be a very, very good option. These clubs, these rescue clubs that many of you will carry, are incredibly versatile. You can see how I've used this club from the tee, from the fairway, around the green. You could almost play a hole with this club and probably make a par. You know, good tee shot into the green, and you could almost putt with it. So if you don't carry a rescue club and you've watched this video, it would be my advice to try one of these. Maybe swap out a 3 or a 4 iron for one of these golf clubs. I do think it's going to make the game a lot easier for a lot of you out there. Thank you for watching. Hopefully that video was helpful. A little bit of information there which might help you play golf a little bit better next time you venture out onto the golf course. So thank you for watching. Usual stuff is down below. There's a comments box down there. There's a like button. There is also a link over here, my logo, which will allow you to be a free subscriber of the channel. I would love to have you along for the journey. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you back here again soon.